We're going to continue our discussion about the matrix. So in the previous lecture, we learned how to declare, instantiate to the array, and how to calculate, let's say, the total, the average, the highest grade to the array. So basically how to access different elements into the array. So we're going to take it to the next level, and then in this lecture, we're going to be learning how to access a specific row and specific column. So let's say, for example, I want to calculate the total for the first row only, not all of them. So let's say, I want to calculate and print the total of the first row. The first row, that means row number 0. So that means I want to calculate the total only of this row. So how can I do that? Okay, first I need the variable. So I'm going to call it row sum. So 0. Now, so what are the values here? So it's 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 2, 0, 3. So you can easily notice that the first number does not change. It's always the same row 0. Okay, and then the column number that changes. So if I can have a loop starting from 0. So here we have the number of columns. So I'm going to use less than grades 0 at length. And then I'm going to calculate this. So row sum is plus equal grades. Now we said that 0 does not change. So I'm going to put 0 here. So what does change is the column number. So it's going to be I. Okay. So this will calculate the total for me. Okay. So 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 2, 0, 3. So now if I calculate the row sum, so it's going to be 84 plus 90 plus 65 plus 80. Now what about if we want to calculate the total of the second row? So I'm going to do the same thing, but I'm going to change 0 to 1. Now what about the third row, which is row 2? So it's going to be the same thing, but you change the number to 2. Now I have to repeat this many times, so it is more efficient and effective if I can create a method that takes the row number and then calculates the total. So instead of having this, I'm going to delete that, and then I'm going to create a method. So I'm going to have public static integer, which is the total, and then I'm going to put row sum except the row number, whatever the row number might be. So here I'm going to use the same loop for int I equals 0, I less than grades 0, length plus plus, and then okay, I need to declare a variable here. So let's say sum. I'm going to put sum plus equal grades. Okay, the row number, whatever the row number I'm trying to calculate the total for, that should be the first one, row. And then the column number changes, so that will be the variable I. And that's going to return sum. So this way I can use the same method many times. So for example, to calculate the total of the first row, all what I need to do is call the method. I'm going to call the method row sum, but you specify the row number 0. So that's going to calculate the total of the row number 0. Okay. Let's see if I missed anything here. Grades. Yeah, I need to specify the to the array here. So I'm going to put int grades. Well, let's call it lists. That's just a placeholder. So I'm gonna put list here. So here, when I call the method, I have to specify what is the 2D array I'm using. So here I'm going to use grades and then comma 0, which is the row number. So let's test it now. Okay, 319, which is the same total. Now, if you want to calculate and print the total of the second row, I don't have to repeat the same thing, just have to call the method. So grades comma 1. So that's going to give me the total grade for the second row, which is 308 and so on. Okay, so what about if you want to calculate the sum of a specific column? So let's say here, calculate the sum of a specific column. So let's say column number 0. Okay, okay, the sum first column. Okay, which is this one, 84, 86, and 50. So how can I access the first column? So here I need a variable to calculate the sum. So I'm going to call it total equals 0. Now, when you put 84, 86, so here we have 0, 0, 1, 0, 2, 0. As you can see, the second number is the same, 0, 0, 0. And the first one keeps changing. So we're going to do the same thing here. It's going to have a variable. Now, since we're going down, we'll go vertically. That's the number of, that's the length of the 2D array. So we're going to use I equals 0, I less than grades that length. So here, as you can see, I'm using grades, not grade 0. Why? Because grades is the number of rows. So I need it because I'm going down 84, 86. That's the number of rows, which is also the length of the 2D array. And then I'm going to calculate the total. So it's going to be total plus equal grades what? Okay, so as we're saying, the first one keeps changing, so I'm going to put I here, and second number will be 0. Okay. So 0, 0, 1, 0, 2, 0, and so on. And then you print the total. So that's going to give you the total of these three numbers, 84 plus 86 plus 50. So if you add them up, you're going to get 220. And the same thing, what about if I want to calculate the sum of the second column, the third column? So it is better to create a method. So I'm going to delete this and then create a method, because you can use that method over and over again. Okay, a method to return the sum of a given column. So I'm going to put public static, and then I'm going to put column sum, and then it accepts the 2D array, and then the column number call. We need a variable also here, so let's call it sum call, and then we're going to use the loop. So here we're going vertically, so we're going to use the length of the 2D array. I list then list dot length I plus plus. So the row number keeps changing. So if we put sum call keeps changing, so we're going to put I, the variable I, and then the second number does not change, the column number, so we're going to put call. And then you can return the variable sum call. Let's test it in here. So if you want to calculate calculate and print the total of the first column. I have to call the method, so I'm going to put a column sum, accept an array, and then the column number, which is 0. So if I run the program, it should calculate the sum. Let's make sure I didn't miss anything here. Cannot find symbol, column sum. Oh, I'm sorry. I have to call the method using grades because that's the array I have. So it should be grades. This is the placeholder in the method. So save everything and then run the program. So it's going to give me the total of these three numbers, 84, 86, and 50. Now if I change it to second column, so call the method again, accept grades, and then 1. So here it's going to calculate the sum of the second column, which is 90, 92, 74. So having a method makes it super easy. You just have to do it in one line. Call the method. You just have to come up with the column number. Which column number you want to calculate the total for. Okay. So this is pretty much how to access a specific row and specific column. Thank you for watching and see you on the next lecture.